Okay guys, I'm going to, I was going to add silicone to this pour because I'm hoping to do one that I did last week where we torch a little bit, not everything, but just a little bit, so that we get some different parts in the pour that might be appealing. So that's why I'm adding a little bit of silicone. And of course, the same colors as last week. It's the blue hue, this one, the blue, the orange, and the yellow. So first off, I'm going to, of course, I'll keep this one for the pour because there's almost no air bubbles in that one. I just mixed this one, so there's a lot of air bubbles in it, as you can see. But I'm going to do the background so that it has some moisture so that it can flow easily. So that's what we're doing here. And it doesn't have to really have a total coverage. That's not really needed, but if you can, I think sometimes it just makes it easier because otherwise you have to touch it up maybe later. You don't want to do that. So I'm doing the sides so that if the pour runs over the side, we don't have to touch it up, especially if you do the corners really neatly. Corners are always a thing that peeks out when you do a pour. They are the last part to get covered, and so that's why this is a little easier to do. Now there is silicone in this color too, which is pretty stupid, because if you want to do something like this, you want your background not to contain any silicone at all, because otherwise you might get those spots in there. But with this one, I am hoping to pretty much cover the whole canvas with the pour. But if you have something with a negative space and you are going to do the background first, then please don't put silicone in it. Just makes your work a lot difficult. So here we go. See there you have the silicone coming through, but that's okay because we're going to pour straight over this anyway. So we shouldn't forget to wash this because I don't want to waste too many brushes. Now I'm going to do 2 cups. I'm going to fill those, and we're going to fill it with, of course, the blue. And I'm going to do both cups the same, pretty much the same. And as you can see, I'm sort of layering it in because of the feather thing that I want to create. So that's why I'm really being careful in letting it flow on top of each other so that we have some sort of a separation of the colors, and maybe a little bit more blue. There's a lot of air in this blue. I am sort of, let me get a cloth. I am sort of liking the paint better if you leave it overnight so that all the colors can sort of get out of it. That sort of makes it a little more appealing to me. So then we're going to put the orange on top of that. And then we have 2 full cups. Maybe a little more yellow. And I'm going to finish it off with the blue. There's not much left in this cup, so I'm going to help it out a little bit. That's it. And then the last one. Okay, we'll see what happens. Oops, almost coming out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it straight in the middle here instead of on the corner. So we'll see what happens. Oops, not that high. We don't want it that high. That is nice. And as you can see already, there are some really nice big cells appearing. I'm gonna get it over the side and over that side. That is some really weird patterns. That is pretty. Now, the other one, I'm gonna pour from up here. Oops. That was that was not what I was looking for, but here we go. And let that come down. That is kind of wild. I do really like where the blue and the yellow came into play. So I want to turn it around and do one more pour up here. Maybe not. Maybe I want to pour it down here. See what happens. There it goes. Over the corner. And now we want it to come down here a bit. There it goes. And of course, now I'm going to look where I want to torch it. I think here down the middle. Whoops, that's empty. Just a tiny bit, not too much. Maybe this one too. That's it. Just have a slight little bit of cells come up here, and then this and that side we're going to leave it as is. Here you see a couple of little cells, but we don't want too many cells because I do want to keep that flowing motion of all these colors of paint going every which way, which I really like. That is very dramatic. I love how it's flowing up and down, coming down. You could use this as a sort of a horizontal thing going through it. You could hang it like this, but you could also just think that maybe this is better. I think I'd hang it like this because I like how this comes down and then it goes all over the place. That's the flow of the painting. I really don't want to disrupt these cells because they're kind of pretty, so we're just going to leave them like that. What I am going to do is add some really pretty glitter. Now I have some that looks really fiery. I've got to find it. Yes, here it is. And I'm going to place it, I'm going to take it between my fingers and I'm going to put it over the part where the cells are. So just to give that a little bit more of a feeling of, you know, pulling the eye to the piece. So only where the cells are is going to be a little bit of glitter. And this is holographic gold. So this has no glitter whatsoever. This doesn't have glitter, only where these bands of beautiful cells are starting to appear. That's where we want some of this glitter. Let's see. And while I'm moving around, that makes it possible for me to see where the glitter is and if it's enough. Just a little bit more. Big painting, so we need a little bit more. That's it. That is crazy. Crazy wild. Now we have the glitter coming down here, and up here, because that's where the cells are. And I would like to really show you a close-up, but I don't think that's going to work. Let's see. Well, maybe. Let's see. Is it in focus? When you zoom in, the focus sort of is out. There you go. But I think it's pretty. I think that's exactly... I don't want to add... I'm thinking of adding stuff, but then I'm thinking, nah, don't do it. It's pretty. Don't do it. It's pretty. So we're going to leave it exactly as is right now. And we'll see what happens when this dries. But up to now, I'm pretty satisfied with the pour. So this is it. I'm going to put it away for a bit. Don't want to really touch the corners. Because I have a lot of this paint left over. Just want to see if I can do something with it before it turns totally green, which it's doing at the moment. See that? That is not pretty. It's nothing that I think, you know, I'd use for something. It's greenish and there's some orange popping through, but other than that, it does sell up really nicely. But you guys can't see it, I think, because the light really has to hit it. You can't really see it. Yeah, maybe something for in my art panels, my multimedia. Let's see if we can do some lacing. Let's see if we can do that. Ooh, that is some great lacing. That is beautiful. I should do that up close so that you can see that. See that? That is lace. See how it is totally laying on top and showing you what's underneath. So I might just keep this. Who knows? Maybe this is something that I might put into one of my art panels. Let's do that again. This time I'm going to do a base of blue. And the little palette knife, clean it off before you do anything. There it is. Then some orange on top. And now I'll swipe it. That's it. Now that's some awesome lacing. Let me see if I can get you in really close. See, it almost has a 3D feeling to it. That is crazy. This I'm going to keep because I'm pretty sure I can put this in one of my art panel things. So again, for the people that haven't seen me do that before, lacing is nothing really more than laying down one color or a pour or whatever. Always work with a clean palette knife because that's important. So you make a nice smooth bed of paint like that. Clean off the palette knife. This time I'm going to use yellow. You pour a little bit of yellow on there, and then with the clean palette knife you swipe it over like that, and there's a thin film of yellow on top, and then when you torch it you get lacing. There it is. So the yellow opens up, shows the color underneath, and that's why we call it lace. Because I just might think, I just might use this as, you know, cut out small little things to accentuate the thing I'm putting on the board, on the panel. Okay, one more. This time I'm going to try and make two colors lace. So first we want to spread out the base color. And this time we're going to do two colors. So the first one's going to be the orange, and then a little bit of yellow. Make sure it's totally clean, that's important. And then we're going to swipe right over it like that. And it's a really, really light swipe. And there it goes. And there you see the lacing going from orange to yellow. Then of course the yellow is also mixing with the blue to make the greenish tint. And these are also really pretty if you make macro prints out of this. You know, with the macro lens on your camera, a very close up, you just take out a little piece, and that is so pretty. This is so perfect. That is beautiful there. Maybe I can, nah, maybe not. I don't have, I just cleaned my camera and I have to set it all up again. And I want to do something different this afternoon. So, but this is really pretty. And let's see if I can show you what I'm really talking about. The light doesn't really catch it really well. But here the outer line, you can really see it's really thin and laying right on top and almost 3D looking. That is awesome. Now I'm going to do one last one, and this one, it's going to be the yellow as base. Sort of like that. Clean off the palette knife. Then I'm going to try to do blue lacing. See that? Nice and clean. And swipe over. Now this is not going to totally work because there's a very thick layer of blue on here, but see on the sides it's going to lace. And that's sort of what you want to do. If you're going to do this, the thicker the paint is, the less it can contract and make lacing. And also some colors react differently than other colors, so that's something you want to be careful with. You have to do a little test piece. But can you imagine this in one of those wooden panels and then the resin on top? That's going to be awesome, it really is. So one more, because I still have some paint left, and this is it for today. So let's do an orange one. Nice and smooth. Clean it off. And we'll do blue and yellow lacing. That's the blue. That's the yellow. that is pretty. That is really pretty. Yes. Need one more. Okay. That was really pretty. This is something I'm going to use. Absolutely sure of it. Very dramatic, don't you think, with that blue and the orange? Need another one. Trying to make a bit bigger one now, so I'm going to try and really fill up the whole piece of paper. There it is. Okay. Blue and yellow. Oops. So you do have to be careful when you swipe it, because that's too hard, so you swipe it all off the photo paper, but you'll get the hang of it. It's really crazy too. Too bad I skipped that bit, but that's okay. Okay, last one, guys. And then I'm going to clean up my mess and do something. Oops, got a little contamination there, but let's contaminate the whole thing. Let's do a different one. There we go. See here, it's not pushing through because the paint is too thick. If you ever see this, you know that it's really foggy, sort of a cells. That's a sign that your paint is too thick, so that the silicone can't come through the layers. So that's what you want to watch out for. And we could do one more. And that's really it. This is the last one, guys. Because I'm making quite a mess. Okie dokie. Let's see, yellow and orange. There it is, ready to go. Now I'll put this, the mix I used, I'll put the, oh, I have to sneeze. Wait a minute, guys. No. Okay. I thought I had to sneeze. I do, but I'm pushing through it. Okay. I'll put the recipe of this mix. I'll put that under the video. I was going to do that yesterday, but I forgot, so I'll do that today. It's the same mix I've been using for the last 4 weeks, so it's sort of my favorite mix up to now. It has a little bit of gloss medium in it, and you don't have that. If you can't get Vallejo gloss medium, you can put in Winsor & Newton gloss medium. It's a Vallejo new formula pouring medium, the normal one. And then there is PVA glue in there. If you're using the PVA glue, make sure that it says that it dries transparent, because that's important, and that it stays flexible, because you don't want anything that dries brittle and it's going to crack off your canvas. You don't want that. So, oh, and another thing, someone emailed me about that they were really getting into it, but they used gesso or gesso as their white, and you cannot do that. People don't use gesso or gesso as paint, because it's not paint. It's a primer for your canvas. What happens to it is that it turns yellow pretty fast, and not a nice yellow. It gets all blotchy and you get spots, and it is just not paint, so don't use it as paint. It's a primer for your canvas. Okay, guys, that's what I have in my mix. So it's PVA glue, it's gloss medium, and it's pouring medium from Vallejo. A little bit of water, that's it. Nothing spectacular, and I'll put the recipe under the video. So I have enjoyed this weekend. I am very, very inspired to make more of those panels, and that's what we're gonna do. All sizes. I have 15 by 15, 20 by 20, 30 by 30. Then I even have a really big one, 40 by 50. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. So guys, thanks all for watching. Love you all to pieces, and see you in the next video.